How do there, guys? Welcome back to Edgar TV, and today we're going straight in looking at the Damon Heta walk-ons. Now, if you follow things like European Tour darts, you will be very aware of the walk-ons that Damon Heta's been doing on there and how they've been a little bit different, shall we say. They're almost a little bit like what Ricky Evans used to do when Ricky Evans was sort of getting to the top end of his game, but he has sort of stopped doing that over time. And today what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at these walk-ons from a variety of different angles, and I think I'm kind of an ideal person to speak about this because I'm going to look at this today and tell you from many different angles. Now, the reason I think I'm the ideal person to speak about this is due to the fact of sort of my experience with this type of nature, probably due to the fact of my past doing professional wrestling for 5 years, and with that needing to understand certain elements of business, or the entertainment business, shall we say. The first thing, though, that we need to think about is Damon Heta's perspective. That, for me, is the most important thing to begin with. Why is he doing what he is doing? Now, if we ask Damon, we can take a look at an interview that he did not too long back, which says, "I noticed when I got up there, I wasn't putting everything into it. Trying too hard from the start. I feel that was a weakness within my game. And when it came to the big areas, it felt like life or death." And do you know what? I can really relate to this. And anyone who's played sort of professional level sport or sport at a high level will understand what this means. It's where you sort of over trying, shall we say, with certain situations. And it just... I get it. Now I'm getting up there and just enjoying it from the start to the end. It doesn't come into my head that I have to win, that every dart matters. Just relieves the tension. Again, I get this. That was kind of one of the reasons behind my YouTube channel as well. Something different to focus on. You can't just focus on one thing all the time. A lot of people seem to think that when you play professional sport, you need to be tunneled visioned and the only thing in your life needs to be that sport or that activity. But actually, we're humans. We don't work like that. We need other things, whether we find comfort in families, activities, the things we watch, the things we do. I can guarantee you now, Michael Van Gerwen ain't sat around visualising darts, going to a football match, doing different things. We'll get into that a bit later on. But that is something that perspective comes across. People seem to think that we need this certain way. And I've seen a lot of comments on social media platforms, specifically, well, it's not Twitter anymore, it's X, isn't it? At the Edgar 501. Seen a lot of comments over on there about how it's affecting Damon's game. Not necessarily in terms of the numbers. They don't back that up. So if we're looking at this as a negative for Damon, I don't see it. So in terms of his TV results, they're pretty much the same at the moment. Never won at the World Grand Prix. He got a quarterfinal at the match play, which outweighs the quarterfinal at the UK Open from the previous year. Fourth round as well, not too bad of a backup there. But it's the European tours where he's been doing this sort of walk-on and this sort of getting into this a little bit more. And if we compare the two European tours, pre-2022 against 2023. 2023, when he's been doing these walk-ons, he's got 4 semi-finals against 2, 3 quarter-finals against 1. So a lot more consistent in that higher end in the tournaments. And that's the European Tour tournaments, which are now sort of TV events. So that's good that we could see that transfer into those big ranking majors as well. We saw it at the World Match Play. Didn't see it in the Grand Prix. He had a good game, though, against Ryan Searle. And he's never really played well at a double start format or won at that double start format. So we'll be interesting to see how he gets on at the back end of the year. Now, the other argument I see quite a lot is people saying, I think he's doing it because he wants to draw attention for the Premier League. Well, yeah, absolutely. Now, does his results warrant a place in the Premier League? No, not at the moment. I think they could. I think he's got that calibre of player in him, but I don't think they're there at the moment. We've just looked at the results. They're not the results of a Premier League player. However, if we was to look at what he's doing. Now, let's first talk about the PDC. The PDC, primary reason it exists is to make a profit. It's not a naughty word. It's not a bad thing. I see people on, the PDC is only doing that to make money. Yes, That's the point. That's why they exist. They're our promotional body. The PDC do not exist for the purpose of solving world hunger. They exist to turn a profit from darts. Now, that's not a bad thing. That's why you go to work. That's why the place you go to work exists. That's why I can go get a burger from an establishment. It's not because they're trying to feed the community. It's because they want to make a profit off me buying a burger. It's just how it is. It's not a bad thing. However, it seems to be a negative or be portrayed as a negative. The PDC are not darts' governing body. Yes, they want to grow the game, but why do they want to grow the game? They want to grow the game to grow the profits. It's not a bad thing. It's just how the world is. It's how the structure is as such. So, now we understand what we're dealing with. We've now got to work out how you can offer value. So as a player, how do you offer value to that promotionary body? Because actually, let's look at it this way. If you become someone people want to see, the PDC become aware that you become someone that people want to see. Their job as a promoter is to promote you so they can make money. And in turn, you make money. It's the way of it's the system of promotion. So, if Damon Heta does a really cool, interesting, quirky walk-on that the PDC go, that was interesting. We're going to clip that. We're going to put it out on YouTube, out on the socials and on these. People come along and view it. They make money. Then all of a sudden, they want Damon Heta to do it again so they can make more money. And if the way of doing that is putting him on TV for 15 weeks to give 15 different walk-ons on a broadcasted channel like Sky, because Sky are the same, Sky want to make their money. So again, they're going to want these clips and these sort of moments so that they can use them to promote it, in turn making Damon Heta a bigger star in the process. It's the circle of promotion. It's how things work. So, in that sense, would this be something that helps him get in the Premier League? Absolutely. Because the engagement, the views, the watchers, everything that goes up with that promotes the organisation, promotes the player, promotes the increase of revenue streams, which is ultimately, at the end of the day, the thing that most people are looking at. That's Damon's point of view looked at. That's the promotionary side of things looked at. Let's look at my point of view. Okay, this is now where I get purely opinionated. Do I like it? No. I'll tell you why. I don't like it for a couple of reasons. One, I think some of them have been very childy. A plastic lawnmower. You know, I didn't like that one. There's some that I quite like, but there's some that I don't. Now, the reason I don't like them is because it's a different one every single time. It's too unique. And by that, me as a fan, the only way I can interact with that walk-on or with that moment is to laugh at it. Haha, this is so funny, this is great, this is quirky. It'll get boring very quick. It'll go from, haha, that was funny, to, it's a bit corny, it's a bit cringy now. Ugh. It's got to make sure it doesn't get to that element. Now, to do that, there needs to be things that are the same every time. A hook. I, as a fan, need to know how I interact with Damon Heta. At the moment, the only way I interact with him is by laughing at him. It stops being funny. If I want to interact with him, let's go back to wrestling. I'll always do that, because wrestling to me is the place to go. It's where darts was years ago. Darts is an infant compared to where wrestling is now, in terms, but they're going on the similar sort of journey of entertainment within sport. Finn Balor throws his arms up in the air. At that moment, everybody in that crowd knows, at that point of the song, at that moment, when Finn Balor throws his arms up in the air, if I want to interact with Finn Balor, I throw my arms up in the air, and the entire arena does. You are now interacting with the talent. You are now relatable with the talent that is going on stage or on screen. You can even sit at home. Way! You're interacting with the player. That's what we need to have now. We need that interaction with the player. So yes, he can do these walk-ons, and they can be different things, and different things happen all the time, but he needs certain things that are the same. Stop changing the walk-on song. Let's go for Things Can Only Get Better, and just change it to Heta. You know, things can only get Heta. That way, people know how to interact with Damon and that walk-on. If it's not using the music, which, by the way, too many dart players rely on a song to get them over rather than doing something themselves. I use the term over, wrestling fans. You'll love that. Too many people rely on the music. So if you don't want to use Things Can Only Get Better, I think it was Dream that sung that song, have something that is the same. He's got loads of hand signals, loads of hand gestures he does, just naturally. I think most people from Australia end up doing different sort of hand signals or different bits. Use that. Do that at a regular interval at every time. Maybe while your name's being called out, instead of signing an autograph, Damon don't do this, I don't think, but instead of signing an autograph or stood backwards, which, by the way, I hate, stop doing it. You're being introduced to the audience. I don't want to see the back of you. But anyway, we'll carry on. While you're being introduced, do something there that will become relatable, that's a hook, that links you to the audience, that the crowd can link to you. At the moment, I think it's great he's doing something different, but he's detaching himself from the audience, not interacting and engaging and hooking and linking with the audience. That's the bit that I think needs to change. So, are Damon Heta's walk-ons good? I think it's got a lot of potential. I think the reasoning behind it in terms of helping him as a player, I fully understand the need to have that sort of distraction away from just being 24/7 on one activity, which is darts. I get it. I also get why this would be good on a promotional body, and I do understand why people think it would be a help to him to get in the Premier League, because it would be. Let me know what you think. What do you think about Damon Heta's walk-ons? The place to do that is down in the comment section down below. Hit the thumbs up on your way down there, guys, and please do subscribe to Edgar TV for lots of darting content, insights, news, everything darts related. Your one-stop location for darts content is right here. Catch you soon with some more Edgar TV. Edgar TV.